And welcome back to Hannity. The world is on edge after North Korea announced late last night that it successfully detonated a hydrogen bomb. Now, experts are skeptical, however, that the test involved a hydrogen bomb, and it could take several days for the intelligence community to evaluate North Korea's claim. Earlier today, 2016, Republican presidential candidate Carly Fiorina tweeted that the situation with North Korea is yet another example of Hillary Clinton's failed foreign policies. And she joins us now with more. Hillary, welcome back. Carly, how are you? Almost called you Hillary. That was a huge mistake.
That would have been bad. That. I heard that.
I might as well start cursing. I mean, that's worse than cursing at somebody. You know, when she was herself, when she was before going for a confirmation hearing, she actually made the statement that she would embark on a very aggressive effort to end North Korea's nuclear program. So I guess this is an example that really failed.
Well, yes, that's right. But here's the other thing, Sean. When you don't respond to bad behavior, you get more of it. So not only has she gotten every foreign policy challenge wrong as the Secretary of State, she has failed to respond. When our embassy is attacked in Benghazi by terrorists, and there is no response, you get more bad behavior. When Russia invades Ukraine and there is no response, you get more bad behavior. When Syria crosses the red line and there is no response, you get more bad behavior. When Iran launches tests of ballistic missiles and there is no response, you get more bad behavior. When North Korea attacks Sony Pictures and there is no response, you get more bad behavior. In other words, Mrs. Clinton, you cannot lead from behind. We must respond when we are attacked or provoked.
Yeah, I want to know, I don't know if you saw this fatwa that was released by Reuters that actually goes into detail how to be a good rapist by ISIS terrorists if they have female prisoners, and they lay out the rules for this. And I'm thinking, what are we doing about this? What are we going to do to stop this? Where's the plan to win this battle, this conflict of civilization? Because we know that this is a worldwide caliphate that they're advancing, but nobody seems to want to talk about
That's
it.
right.
Hillary doesn't, Obama doesn't.
Well, they don't. And by the way, we have some candidates on our side who don't have a plan either. But here's my plan, and I've been very explicit about it. I've laid out a plan for how we keep people safe here at home, and I've laid out a plan of how we wage war and win by denying ISIS territory overseas. We must deny them their territory, to your point, Sean, because the territory that they conquered because Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama declared victory in Iraq and against every general's advice withdrew all of our troops, leaving a vacuum, weaponry, territory for ISIS to conquer. That territory, their caliphate, is that from which they draw legitimacy, potency, credibility. We have to deny them that territory. And that's why it's so important that we stand with our allies in that region. And that is why when Iran continues to get away with this bad behavior over and over and over again, what do our allies, who are Iran's enemies, think about us? Yeah. It is why we cannot stand by while Russia allies itself with Iran. You can't outsource American leadership to Russia. Russia isn't on our side. They're on their side and Iran's side.
You know, you have been one of the strongest voices in terms of criticism against Hillary. And I wanted to ask you, because I think it's part of the Democratic playbook. Poor Mitt Romney was accused of being engaged in a war on women because he wanted to hire them. And he had their resumes in binders. But now that Hillary's trying to play the victim a little bit in the gender card, do you think it is fair game to bring up the issues involving not allegations of consensual sex, but assault that have been made against her husband? Is that fair game?
Oh, sure, it's fair game. Look, everything Bill Clinton has done is fair game. He's a former president. I just don't think that's the most effective way to beat Hillary Clinton. Because while all that was going on, there were a lot of women who felt, for whatever reason, great sympathy for Hillary Clinton. Look, if my husband were doing that, I would have left him. I wouldn't have behaved the way Hillary Clinton did.
Do you think she's an enabler?
To all those women.
Do you think she assisted in the besmirching and the smearing and the slandering?
Well, sure she did. Of course she did. Of course she did. But the most effective way to beat Hillary Clinton is to remind voters of Hillary Clinton's behavior.
We have two important debates coming up. Where do you see your place in this heading into Iowa in 26 days? Where do you see yourself here? And how do you make the recovery, and what is your strategy?
Well, I don't think I need to make recovery. I think I need to make progress. Remember, Sean, I started out 17 out of 16. The pollsters didn't even ask my name because less than 3% of voters had ever heard of me. Now I am tied essentially with two governors. I'm tied with two governors who are household names in politics, who've spent millions of dollars each on television. My campaign hasn't spent any money on TV. And I know what I see on the ground. I see loads of voters in Iowa and New Hampshire. We move to bigger venues. I have packed town halls. And the truth is that most people in Iowa and New Hampshire make up their minds in the last 2 weeks. So this race is wide open. And I have come further, faster than anyone predicted because voters listen and they like what they hear. And when I tell them it's time, citizens, to take our country back, and a professional politician isn't going to be able to do it, and a guy who's a celebrity but has no plan isn't going to do it either, they're listening.
All right, Carly Fiorina, looking forward. 26 days, it's coming. Thanks for being with us.